Hello, welcome to today's video, which is about English idioms, and we're going to look at body parts. First one, to have cold feet. This means to not do something that you want to do because you're afraid. Often it happens at the last minute. So, for example, Sotutu wanted to tell Noamupo that he really liked her, but when he saw her, he got cold feet and didn't say anything. Next one, to give someone the elbow. This means to push them out. For example, the boss didn't like Sotutu very much, and after 2 weeks, he gave him the elbow, meaning he lost his job. It's often used that way about losing your job. To give someone the cold shoulder. This means to be unfriendly to someone, to discourage them from joining your group and encouraging them to go away. So, for example, Nomopo and her friends were all gossiping together, but when Sopi came over to join them, they gave him the cold shoulder. To have a hand in many pies. You say this about someone who is involved in many different activities. For example, Nomopo helped look after the younger children, she organized the sewing group, she helped to run the shop, and she did the flowers for the church. She had a hand in many pies. To keep your hand in. This is used when someone does something occasionally to make sure they don't lose the skill or lose touch. So, for example, Sotutu is a very good guitar player. These days, he mostly plays in a rock band, but sometimes he plays traditional music just to keep his hand in. To get up your nose. Something that gets up your nose is something that really annoys you. Another version of the same idea is gets under your skin. It's like when you get dust up your nose and you want to sneeze, or you have an itch under your skin and it annoys you. Example, when Nomapo talks on and on about her new boyfriend, it really gets up my nose. Or when Sotutu asked the same question 5 times but didn't ever listen to the answer, it got under the teacher's skin. A poke in the eye, and you can see from the picture what it looks like. The idea is that it's something unpleasant and a setback. Sometimes people will make it longer and say a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So, for example, Sotutu had been planning his trip for 2 weeks and he was really looking forward to it. When the teacher told him he couldn't go because his class had to help build a new house in the break, it was a real poke in the eye. A foot in the door. So the idea is that if you put your foot in the door, like in the picture, it makes it very hard for anyone to close the door. It makes a permanent way in. You use this when someone makes a way for other people to follow, or when you can achieve something small so that you can reach higher later. So an example of the first meaning. When Sotutu got a job working for the Popra police, it was a foot in the door for other Karen people to follow. Second meaning. When Sotutu got a job as a cleaner at the school, it wasn't a great job, but it was a foot in the door so that they could see what a good worker he was. Next one, to give someone a hand up. It means helping someone to reach a higher level. It could be like in the picture, or it could be something to improve their situation, like a better job. So, example of that second one, when Sotutu got Nomupo a job in 7-Eleven, it really gave her a hand up. To leave a bad taste in the mouth. This is how your mouth feels when you've just tasted something really unpleasant. You use it when something has happened that leaves you with a bad feeling about the person who did it. So, for example, Sotutu told everyone how important it was to help their community, but he left to get a high paid job in Bangkok. It left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. To have a big head. Means to be very proud of yourself. You can also use big head as an adjective. So, for example, so Tutu is always telling everyone what a good football player he is. It's true, he is good, but he's such a big head. That's a noun. Second one, so Tutu is always telling everyone what a good football player he is. He's so big headed. That's an adjective. Next one, a slap on the wrist. Used in the past as a form of punishment for small things you've done wrong. Teachers would slap the back of your hand with their hand, or as in the picture, with a ruler. The idea of the saying is that someone has received a smaller punishment than they deserve, and one that won't stop them doing it again. So, for example, so Tutu bullied a lot of other students, but every time he got caught, the teachers only gave him a slap on the wrist, so he kept doing it. A kick in the pants, or less polite, a kick up the arse. This is used when someone is not doing something or not trying very hard. The idea is that a kick, as in the picture, will get them going or stop them being lazy. Often the word good is used before pants or ass. So, for example, so Tutu has been promising to fix the hole in the roof for 2 years. He needs a good kick in the pants or ass. It's usual to say in the pants or up the ass, but in or up can be used with either idiom. Next one, to cry on someone's shoulder. This means to let out all your feelings and emotions to someone you trust. There may or may not be physical touching, like in the picture. So, for example, Nomupo is leaving her husband. She came around to my place to cry on my shoulder. Sometimes the idiom is used as a noun. So, for example, so Tutu was really upset, but he couldn't find a shoulder to cry on. To keep your ear to the ground. The idea is that putting your ear on the ground, like in the photo, you can hear what is happening a long way away, if the train is coming in the photo, and long before you see it. And this is used about someone who is very well informed and hears important news before other people. So, for example, so Tutu told me that Nomupo is splitting up with her boyfriend, and he should know. He has his ear close to the ground. Next one, the long arm of the law. The idea is that the law, the police, can find out a lot of things that an ordinary person could not, and they usually eventually find out who committed crimes. So, for example, so Tutu stole a car and drove it around for 6 months, but eventually the long arm of the law caught up with him and he was found guilty of stealing. The early bird catches the worm, or sometimes gets the worm. Oops, this is not about a body part. Many birds love to eat worms, but there are often not enough worms for every bird to get one. So the early bird gets the worm, but the late bird doesn't. So, for example, the teacher says, you'd better hurry if you want some mango with your lunch, because there's not enough mango for everyone, and the early bird catches the worm. This is a similar idiom to first come, first served, which also means if you're late, you might not get something. To have a big heart or to be soft hearted. People who have a big heart are focused on helping other people. They are people who you can go to if you have troubles. They will always help. So, for example, Nomupo is so big hearted, she helps everyone she knows. Offhand, when you do something casually or without really paying attention or thinking about it. So, for example, he listened to what his mother said in an offhand way. He wasn't paying attention. Another example. Offhand, I can't remember who I was with on Saturday afternoon. Another way to say the same thing, you can say, off the top of my head, I can't remember who I was with on Saturday afternoon. Second hand, something that has belonged to somebody else before. So, for example, I'm tired of wearing my older brother's second-hand clothes. A second-hand shop is a shop where you can buy things that are not new. In hand means under control. It's on the way. It can suggest being a bit annoyed that the questioner has asked the question because you feel they don't trust you and they are checking that you're doing things right. So, for example, it's all in hand. The arrangements to go to the waterfall on Tuesday are in hand. At hand or handy means close and ready to be used. So, for example, keep the screwdriver handy, we'll need it in a minute. Or, I always keep my charger at hand in case my phone battery is low. And it can also mean coming soon. From the Bible, do you remember? The day of the Lord is at hand, it's not far away. To put your hand up for something means to volunteer. So, for example, when the teacher was looking for volunteers to clean the classroom after the movie, so Tutu put his hand up. Handout, meaning one you probably know. For example, a teacher gives a handout in class, meaning a piece of paper for you to work on. Meaning two is a free gift or a donation. So, for example, he's always got his hand out, meaning he's always asking for something. And this is the end, my friend. See you next time.